Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Tomb Kings led by Renegade Moose facing off against the High Elves, who shall be helmed by Alexander Nuts here on the Lustrian Narrows, one of our new maps by Hitman Hippo. Should be quite a bit of fun. Looks like a basic Tomb King Lord, so you don't see them too often. Usually it's going to be Cetra to double dip in the caster territory, but what does he bring to the table? Is he Scorpion Armor? Okay, so he has a ward save trick, and then he does also have Tomb Strike as well. On the other side, it's going to be led by Eltharion the Grim. Always fun to see him in action. And as far as his applications against the Tomb Kings go, he's an armor-piercing character, so against constructs he can fight them. Also, you have Apotheosis for the Dragon, as well as Soul Quench. All right, let's get this party started. Let's see how this goes. So for the Tomb Kings army over here, it's going to be pretty wild. We have a core of skeletons, which is very standard in both tabletop as well as here. So it's going to be skeleton spears into the sunset, backed up by a big old titan. So we do have the Iron Titan here. You rarely see this bad boy, certainly on the weaker end of the spectrum. But I mean, if people get close to him and just kind of stand under his 32 speed, sure, he can bonk you on the head and do a little bit of work. But his big issue is his maneuverability. That is for sure. That makes him very vulnerable to missiles. A lot of monsters that can't dodge missile fire certainly die a lot quicker, right? So we got the big old Titan here, going to be backed up by double Lich Priest. And wait, do we have... both of them have Buna and both of them have Spirit Leech. What is going on here? This is a wacky style of play. We're going to have to see what's cooking here for Renegade Moose. And of course, it is going to be a Tomb King. And on the far side, we do have some skeleton skirmishers being called out, some horsemen, to go grab objective number 1. For the forces of the High Elves and Alexander, he's going to be rocking Rangers. Up in the sky, he does, of course, have a Moon Dragon. So, a cheap budget dragon, decent breath attacks, and he can pack a punch, especially when teamed up with Eltharion the Grim. And it looks like there is going to be a Shem's Burning Gaze, and it does nail Eltharion. He tries to hide behind the trees, but is hit. Rangers are pretty good in this matchup. They really crush skeletons for the cost. They have that anti-infantry bonus. Their physical resist helps mitigate a lot of the damage coming in from core skeletons. So I do like Rangers as your core choice here. I think it's much better than like a line of Spearmen, for example. Archers have never been like super good against Tomb Kings either, because all of their chaff infantry have silver shields and their constructs are all heavily armored. So outside of Sisters of Avalorn, basic archers aren't going to be amazing. Maybe occasionally like a couple Lothern Seaguard on the flanks or something, but yeah, you're not going to see it too often. So here we get the big monsters going after the skeleton spearmen, and they do lose 10 models out of the gates, but they don't really care too much about that. I think that they should be able to hold their own, and there's going to be some witchcraft going down on Eltharion the Grim. It is going to be Spirit Leech, so a big sniping attempt going to be going down from Tomb Kings. We saw Shem's Burning Gaze from the Titan. We see double Spirit Leech. Going to be a lot of funny business going on. Now, on this side, we do see the Rangers grabbing Objective 3, and they're immediately going to be charged by the mighty Tomb King on the Sphinx, and those are some of the best monsters in the entire game. They do a lot of damage when they charge you, although he did kind of charge a weird angle right there, but you'll notice after, a couple, maybe 10-15 seconds of fighting here, this Ranger unit's going to be pretty beat up if that conflict does continue. Now, over here, we do see a sniping attempt coming in. The Moon Dragon as well as Eltharion going after the Lich Priest, but they've made a fatal trap. They've engaged the Titan in the one area he can attack you with his dreaded 32 movement speed. And so far, he tries to bonk him on the head. It looks like he did make contact with the Dragon, but their Spirit Leech going to be going down. And Sepulchral Stalkers as well here for Renegade Moose. Going to be a very useful tool against the big targets up in the sky, forcing them back. But the High Elves do have map control. On the far side, Ravers have taken Objective 1, pushing back the Skeleton Skirmishers. Rangers are pretty much winning all their fights. Skeleton Horsemen losing right here to Silverhelms as well as Rangers. So Alexander certainly has a dominant position in terms of the battlefield. Tomb Kings might be value trading very well, but there is healing. There's Apotheosis here, and most of the value the Tomb Kings have done has been against the big man here. Now, is there some weird combo I'm missing? So I know the Titan gives you some Winds of Magic shenanigans. Yeah, it gives you, okay, Spell Mastery. So you're getting Spell Mastery for that. And then we do have the Copal here for the Spell Resist. Okay, interesting. So you can get Spell Resist on an aura around there, or an activated aura, I should say. So it looks like they're going to be moving into the engagement here. In the backfield, we do see some heavy cav coming around. Silverhelm's going to be intercepted by Skeleton Horsemen, which are going to get wrecked in combat. But if it could buy time for the Eyes of the Desert to rip some big shots and get a little bit of value there, then it could be worth it. As far as this point goes, we do see the Sphinx had done quite a bit of work against these Rangers, maybe beating them up to the point where they would be defeated by these skeletons. A couple skeleton warriors here are going to be moving up, but now we see the Chadborn coming out, and Chadborn are pretty much an auto take. Ever since they got AP, they've just been so good. And they're good against infantry too. They're still Dragon Princes. Brutal charge right there. Were those Brace Spears though? I think no, those were just baseline skeleton warriors. So yeah, they're going to melt very quick to that charge if they decide to stay. But it looks like the Fireborn going to be trying to push through and get to some better targets. But the skeletons are pretty dense right there. And it seems like they are blocking up the charge of the Fireborn, despite some very aggressive clicking here from Alexander trying to get past them. So Tomb Kings still shut off the objectives, although it looks like they're just starting to get their clutches on this one. So that's why he was pushing them up. He pushed the Fireborn up to prevent the capture of the objective, but he did not quite succeed, and it looks like the Tomb Kings were able to get that one back. Fireborn haven't taken any casualties from these skeletons yet, and now they're going to be turning around to beat them down as the objective does start to go back to the High Elves. Tomb Kings getting a bit of momentum in the middle. Ushapti summon being used here, going to be able to counter these Rangers. And Ushapti are actually pretty good in this matchup. High Elves have a lot of infantry that are vulnerable to them outside of the spears. So yeah, I think if Rangers became meta this matchup, you'd see a bit of an evolution of maybe seeing baseline Ushapti being brought here. Nonetheless, we do see the Rangers getting plowed a bit, so they are going to be taken to Pound Town by the big man here, and looks like he retreats for some reason, not wanting to stay in that fight. Maybe he was a little bit afraid of being charged by Eltharion, who knows. Now, looking at the value, we do see Renegade up quite a bit on value. Both sides do have healing. Tomb Kings are getting healing from their Realm of Souls, but it's very little compared to probably Apotheosis spam. Now we have an anti-large fight out here. It's going to be Sepulchral Stalkers, which are a unit I'm so bummed about. They're so freaking awful in tabletop, and they're my favorite looking unit on the Tomb Kings roster, so I bought like two groups of them. I have 6 of them, fully painted, looking amazing. My Smoking Hot wife painted them. She's a super talented artist, and yeah, overall, like, they just suck so bad, and it's such a shame because I always want to use them, but maybe someday they'll get fixed. Who knows? I'll find a way to shoehorn them into some lists for you guys when we eventually record some bat reps. So, trademark soon, yes, of course. Hashtag soon. So, Lich Priest still hanging out, dropping those Spirit Leeches and Bunas wherever they can, and now you get a fat Buna on the Fireborn, which is the power fantasy target, especially if there's no healing available, and the Sepulchral Stalker is able to use their laser beams, and they do manage to kill quite a bit of the Fireborn on the retreat, and it looks like they are going to be in full rout. So can the Tomb Kings get the objectives back in time? They seem to be trading very well in value now, annihilating the Fireborn, stealing this objective. The infantry trade is going okay. The High Elves still hanging in the middle with White Lines of Cray, so bringing slightly more sustainable troopers. And Eltharion as well as the Dragon are still relatively healthy. And Ushapti Great Bow right now would be so brutal. Like a single Great Bow back here, defended by the Eyes of the Desert, would be nasty against Eltharion as well as this Moon Dragon. Tomb King trying to break the position of those Rangers there, but even the most kind of chaff-centric High Elf unit is going to be very stalwart. Over here, we do see some Spears being called in. A good choice, right? Because nothing here is good against Spearmen. Granted, Sepulchral Stalkers with their, shooting. If the Skeleton Spearmen or Skeleton Horsemen went up and around the back of them, and then these guys shot them, they could 3v1 that unit for sure, but it wouldn't be the most cost-effective fight. Now here we do have a King Kong versus Godzilla duel. Tomb King using the Tomb Strike, so he's going to be getting a big stat line increase as he absolutely claws that guy right there. Eltharion the Grim, Apotheosis is active, and the Tomb King is going to be retreating from the fight, calling in some Skeleton Spearmen, issuing commands from atop his mighty Sphinx, calling the boys in. Spirit Leech going down right there on Eltharion the Grim. That's going to be a nice one for sure, but he is still pretty healthy despite the focus fire from all that magic. So on this side, it looks like the objective potentially at risk of being lost here. What are the Tomb Kings going to do to deal with this? See some Skeleton Horseman Archers coming up, but this one Chad Spearman unit is putting so much pressure on. On the outside, Reavers hanging on to Objective 1, just kind of camping that, making sure it doesn't get back caps. And the Tomb King able to push back Eltharion, but he does get another heal, and now it looks like there's pretty good momentum coming in here for Renegade Moose. The Ushapti Summon was able to do big work, and it looks like we do have a natural Ushapti Summon as well as they cleave through those Rangers. And you see what I'm saying, Rangers, Swordmasters, White Lines of Crace are all going to be pretty weak against Ushapti. They're great, especially after the most recent update. Ushapti used to only have 6 bonus for slot infantry, but now they have 12. So basically got double in terms of their efficiency, well, not overall against infantry, but double the bonus for its infantry. Breath Attack going down on the Titan. Pretty cool to see the Titan actually doing decently. I don't know about its value, but yeah, 1300 value is not bad. It's getting in the ballpark of paying for itself. White Lines of Grace not going to be super powerful here. There's a lot of hard counters to them. The Titan's a counter. We have the Tomb King himself who's a counter. The Ushapti are going to be able to cleave through them relatively well. So a lot of things that are pretty damn sweet. On the outside, Skeleton Horseman Archers. I don't hate this. So what the idea is you call them in, you start poking. If he chases you, you pull him back to your reinforcement point, and then you call in like an Hekar Horseman and get a big alpha strike on them. So this is a nice play here, and I would imagine they're going to start chasing. And let's see if that's what he does. Renegade Moose does have enough to summon a Skeleton Horseman. Or is he just going to retreat to the other side? Okay, yeah, something in that vein. So he does call those in. Let's see if Alexander's going to... Well, what is he doing? Is he going to be flanking around? It looks like, yeah, he's going to be trying to get behind this unit, which is interesting. Or maybe hiding in the trees to go try and steal Objective 1. A couple of cool tactical options here. Now, on this side, Tomb Kings are holding on to the point, but it's just trash infantry. Skeletons, I believe... count as expendable for the Tomb King, so they're only going to have a little bit of capture weight. We do get some good quality troopers in, some Nekara Warriors, which are pretty much, the Ranger equivalent for the Tomb Kings. They're pretty good in this matchup as well, and they're going to be heading up to the point, but the Tomb Kings are really not in a position where they can afford to be losing objectives. They're going to need a Ninja a couple points very, very rapidly here. We see spears hustling over. We do also see the dragon. It's going to be able to dispatch them very quickly. The double skeleton horseman cackling. Granted, the reavers do, unfortunately for the Tomb Kings, catch that skeleton unit, which did need to happen. They're, close enough in speed that you should be able to get away here, but I do not believe this objective is going to be taken by Tomb Kings. The dragon's going to arrive. Spearmen will arrive and shut that down. Middle looking pretty locked down. You probably want to leave the Titan here. There's got to be some synergy I'm missing. So yeah, their spell mastery is 120% right now, and he gives the spirit conduit. Oh, the range is only 100 meters for that. Okay, I'm stupid. That's what I was missing. I knew something was off, but yeah, okay. So the range is close for the spirit conduit. So to get the recharge as well as the spell mastery, you need to be close to the Titan. What a cool innovation by Renegade Moose. That's not something I've ever seen before. You could probably do that with a single caster as well and be just fine. So the Tomb King's trying to fight over here with his Nakar warriors, leading his warriors of old into battle against the High Elves. High Elves live a long time too, right? I know dwarves live 300, 400, 500 years in the Warhammer Fantasy universe. I don't know how long elves live, but it's got to be 800 to 1,000, 800, maybe 1,000 years, something like that, I would just guess. I think I could have sworn I've heard that somewhere. Overcasted Spirit Leech from downtown. Super long range. Isn't going to get the kill. Apotheosis saves him, but he still breaks. And here we do see the Tomb Kings clutching this objective, but Alexander is at a pretty good amount of points. Obviously, it is a triple cap situation, so Alexander just needs to find a way to kind of keep 1 point in his clutches. Dragon's going to be pretty good sustained fighting here, but these Sepulchral Stalkers are still very much alive. And man, if they can get that pick on that dragon right here, that's going to be freaking huge. So they're creeping in. They do not have the attack order yet. They were just moving towards the objective. And now they get the laser beams. There they go. The dragon may be going to be breaking. So this could be a tricksy comeback here in terms of the objectives for Renegade Moose. High Elves are just swarming this one out, though. A lot of spearmen. And if Altharion lives, that's going to be pretty massive. Okay, the fact that he lived might actually give the High Elves a chance in this game. Because with the penalty to the leadership, these Rangers are, I guess holding pretty firm. But these spearmen, for example, would be on the cusp of breaking. And there would be terror routes going down. But since Altharion still draws breath, he is going to be able to hang in there and provide the support to the High Elves that they need. Dragon is on the retreat, though. This objective looking pretty good for the Tomb Kings. I think there's enough chaff skeletons here to win this fight against these spearmen. In the middle, we have the Titan. Titan's going to be locking it down against these infantry here, using his laser beam eyes. Let's get some of these sweet animations. Oh, the Titan is so freaking cool. I wish they had this model in tabletop. They have the really haggard old one, which is so awful, but yeah, if they had this one, man, that would be so incredibly cool. Maybe you'd see it more often. But yeah, we do see the white lines of Krace breaking away, running from the mighty Titan. So now Tomb Kings are just going to have to get this objective, and will they have enough time? Find out on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z. Altharion and the Dragon both really beat up, sitting on the fringes of the battlefield. Dragon's still going to be useful, though. If you can keep him away from those anti-large units, maybe fly him all the way over here. Although, yeah, on every objective, there's a threat to him, right? We have the Titan here, we have the Tomb King here, and on the other side, the Sepulchral Stalkers. Okay, so the Tomb Kings do get a triple cap, and that is going to be the Fireborn coming in. That is going to be a little bit scary, but as long as the Tomb King stands underneath his Spearman, he should be okay. Here we do see Spirit Leech going down to the Moon Dragon. So the Moon Dragon is going to be pulling over, looking for blood. Maybe looking to get a snipe. And there's no way you can snipe the Tomb King. At that current health state, it's so low, 839. This is the right choice with Altharion. Just hide him in the trees, but I can't help but think maybe Tomb King's got this. Although it's so close that if they do manage to blunder one of the objectives, the Asur could come back. The High Elves could get it done. Fireborn rear charging there, helping to break that position. And now they're going to be swarming in, just doing a frontal charge into the Skeleton Spearman. Definitely what you would want to do for Alexander, and I'm pretty sure he obviously finds this out in a moment, I'm guessing, is that you just want to run down the reinforcements here. So use your Fireborn in open field to just annihilate any Tomb King's reinforcements coming in, and then that will cut off their capture weight, and you're going to get your capture weight. So it's getting very close to being a 2-cap situation, and where Renegade Moose can win. But if Alexander gets this back, in the next minute or so, it's still going to be a triple cap situation, and he may be able to hold it. I don't know if the Tomb Kings have the killing power, hence the reason why they're calling the Titan from the middle, which I think is a really good play. On this side, Spearmen and Skeleton Warriors just hanging out with some Skeleton Horsemen, so there's obviously a wet noodle contest of the gods going down here. Capture weight's looking tough, though, man. Elves are they're no joke in terms of their staying power. Obviously, Elves don't have the best HP in the game. That's one of the downsides of Elvish infantry in general, is their HP pools are low, but their combat stats are high. And it's very much the same in Tabletop. In Tabletop, they're going to be Strength 3, Toughness 3, but they typically, High Elves have pretty good armor, good initiative, and good leadership. So it's pretty cool how well it transitioned to the Tabletop game as well, or how it transitioned from Tabletop to here and then back, although I don't know what 8th edition was like. I expect it was relatively similar. So Skeleton Horsemen getting karate chopped. More Horseman Archers are on the way in. And at this point, Alexander might be able to win this. Those Fireborn may carry this game. I don't know if there's any Fata Bunas in the back pocket. I don't think there is. And now Alexander with the cheeky Ranger flank here, which is a great play. A huge misplay, by the way, by Renegade Moose here. He has these Skeleton Horsemen idle. If he just pulled them down and around like 2 minutes ago, and rear charged these Spearmen, they'd probably be dead by now. Just the full surround would be enough. So there's going to be Eltharion in the trees using a Soul Quench from downtown. Oh man, we just like zoomed off to the Shadow Realm right there. But oh, this is a cool map, man. I love these maps. So yeah, Hitman Hippo just did 3 new maps for us, including the Archeon map, the Pit of the Everchosen, which I just love. But now there's a dangerous situation here with these Rangers flanking in. Alexander has a great opportunity to get this objective, and the Tomb Kings are just going to be desperately fighting to get this one back right now, which it looks like they might. They do have a lot of skeletons arriving, and the Titan is now here. The Titan's going to give, Terror Route, and also is going to be a good tool at fighting Fireborn if it needs to. The middle objective's looking pretty safe. We do have the double Lich Priest going over, which is a smart play. They do have 3 capture weight each. Granted, there's 8 capture weight worth of Rangers right now. These ones are pretty healthy, and these guys are full health. More Rangers coming. Alexander, man, he's been really doing well this season and has been winning SFTs and tournaments. Very, very strong. Looking forward to seeing him in the old season finals, which will be coming as soon as we get a new update. So Tomb Kings grinding it out here, battling versus the Rangers and the Spearmen. And here we have Skeleton Spearmen stealing the point. So it looks like it is going to be going to the forces of the High Elves. But man, what a razor close game. And it looks like Alexander's ambush on the other side probably is going to be pulling this one out. Tomb Kings are straight up not going to have enough time to get this back, so we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding. They do get these objectives, but even that objective over here is in a little bit of danger as some of the Cav do come in and Reavers. Just a bit of a distraction play here. And now on the point, I don't see there being any chance. The Rangers, like I said, decent little leadership on these bad boys. They're hanging in there, and they are chewing through a lot of the skeletons. Desperation sends by the Tomb Kings here. It is going to be a couple Skeleton Horsemen coming in, just desperately trying to get the capture weight back. Oh man, okay, hold up. Hold up. How are we looking here, though? This one's a little bit dangerous as well. 1354 for Tomb Kings on score. Oh, man, he's so close to getting it back. Granted, I don't think it'd be sustainable. The infantry would cut through all these guys, and that is going to be it. GG, well played. The Fortress of Dawn has gotten the W. Of course, reinforcements coming from Eltharion the Grim there. Very fun. Cool matchup, cool characters. Eltharion definitely underperformed there, but the Rangers were the big MVPs, and the Chadborn were always a problem. And this is what an interesting tactic, using the... Yeah, this was probably maybe just one caster, right? I don't know if you need 2, but 3,000 value on that wizard. Oh my god. Titan paid for itself and was a bit of a distraction piece. But yeah, overall, GG, well played. That was a really fun one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you around, and that is going to be it for today.